Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session on blood donation. I have with me on this webinar today, Chanel Taylor. Chanel is here to talk to us about blood donation and answer questions. As we all may know, as an African Caribbean community, we have special blood types. Some of us do anyway. It is called RO. Chanel will be talking about that later. Before we bring Chanel on, let's watch this short video.
This would be the thing that has me fighting the world, angry all the time, wanting to hurt.
I'm sickle myself.
Thank you, okay. Thank you, God. Thank you for listening to this.
As an unwelcome guest, I still have to fill out the chair.
I thought that we had an understanding, and I thought that I knew who you were, but you don't play fair.
You're my strength that looks like a weakness.
You are something else.
We really have to do this.
Thank you. You live for me. You are.
So Chanel is here today, and we want to welcome her on board. Chanel, welcome to this webinar today. That was an inspirational, a video. So I'll just put you on quickly. Welcome, Chanel, and it's good to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thank you
so much. So can you just, tell us, how did you start on this journey before we go into, any more, further into the story? How did you start on this journey of campaigning for blood donation?
So I would start with, being a sickle cell sufferer myself. I was diagnosed with sickle cell age 9 months old. So fast forward, I guess me being a sickle cell patient and a sufferer, I wasn't aware that there was a blood donation campaign going on until one of my stakeholder friends called Yasser Martini, who is a stakeholder with the NHS Blood and Transplant. And he let me know that the NHS are rolling out a campaign, especially for Black blood donors, because, it's needed within the community. Me being 30 plus, I was unaware. I was so unaware that the NHS had this campaign going on. So when my friend told me about this campaign, I was really keen to get on board because of the treatment that I was going through at the time. And having sickle cell and it being so deliberating and not having enough information around it, not having enough education around it, I didn't know what treatment, was good for me. So we found out about the campaign and we found out that 40,000 people are needed within the Black community to donate blood. Now, the reason why that was needed was because sickle cell patients who need regular treatment, they rely on blood donations. And blood donations is a form of treatment that isn't always, accessible to everybody, and it's not always recommended. There are always, other types of drug treatments like hydroxy, which I'll go into later, that is always offered to sickle cell patients. So because of the demand needed within the community, I knew I needed to help. I knew I needed to get on board, even though at the times I didn't need blood transfusions. It was something that affected me, wholeheartedly. It was, it rested on my heart because it was so close to home. Do I not campaign because I don't receive it, or do I campaign for those to leave a legacy and to educate our community, to let our community know this is needed. So myself, I have a platform called Unsickle My Cells with 2 other warriors who have their own platforms. We actually contacted the NHS Blood and Transplant, and we spoke about having a donation drive. Now, there was a donation drive ending of 2017 where they asked us to book 20 slots. And they asked us to fill 20 slots at a, local session that was going on in Southeast London at a church. Yeah. We managed to fill 50 slots as opposed to 20, and 50 of those people were Black people that actually came to donate. Following that session, we had 3 more successful blood drives. So what a blood donation drive is, you hold a small session where people are able to come and donate, which is open to the public. However, because of our platforms, we combine them together collectively so that we could reach out to our friends and families on social media. And there was a twist to our blood donation drives. And, we had social engagement. We had key influencers coming. We even had Supermalt sponsor us at one donation drive. And the most successful drive that was done was 2018 in July, which was called the Summer of Saving Lives, where we had 90 Black people bled, and they donated blood, which, raised up the percentage by, 1.4% within the BAME community that donates. So I guess from that experience, and the NHS also trusting us and also believing that we could use our community and social engagements and the engagement that we had to have people come and donate, there's a scheme that rolled out where we were able to, they brought us on board as ambassadors. They brought us on board as ambassadors to continue the work that we're doing with blood donations and raising the awareness of sickle cell also as well. So fast forward to a year on, 2019 was when I officially started with NHS Blood and Transplant as an ambassador, but also using my platform, Unsickle My Cells, to also wear the umbrella and cross over the 2 by using both platforms to really raise the awareness, use the tools and the resources to connect with my community. So that's how my journey, I guess, officially started. There's been so much in between, but campaigning and my journey initially started 2017 with our first donation drive.
Okay, wow, that is so amazing. Oh my goodness, what an inspirational story. I have tears in my eyes. I've said I'm not going to cry today because you are so, my God, you are awesome. I'm actually lost for words what to say to you. Anyway, moving on. We have a lot to go through today during this webinar. So my next question would be, why is African Caribbean blood donation important?
So African Caribbean blood is so important, and I don't know how, it's very broad and there's so many different variations to this question. But I guess what you need to understand with sickle cell patients especially, I think what we need to understand is Black people, we do not donate. I think what we need to understand of the BAME community, the Black African mixed ethnic minorities, there's 4% donate, 1% is African Caribbean communities. So that, it's fairly low, which is sad. Now, there's so many myths and so many questions to why African Caribbean people do not donate, which is why I'm here to answer any questions. But I guess what I want people to understand from our community is that sickle cell patients need regular blood transfusions. And we need regular blood transfusions to help us give, the best quality of life. I myself need 7 units of blood, but for me to have 7 units of blood, I need that from 7 people, but specifically 7 Black people. Now, everyone has an RO subtype blood type, and everyone has a protein. Everyone's got their own blood group. But the RO subtype blood is more commonly found in African Caribbean people. And the
Yeah.
RO subtype has that protein in it. And I guess I've got blood groups. You're most likely to carry the RO blood type if you are a B positive.
Okay. I have to
A
check mine. I don't know what mine is.
positive,
Yes.
A positive,
Yeah.
and also O positive. Now,
I see.
the RO blood type, like I said, so let me put it into context. Do you drive?
Okay.
Do you drive?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Is your car petrol or is it diesel?
It's petrol.
So what would happen if you put diesel in your car?
Yeah. Oh, my car wouldn't start.
There you go. So it's like, this is why this is key. It wouldn't start. Your car wouldn't start. So if I was given the wrong blood or given not the right matched blood, that potentially my blood could deteriorate and I could have, antibodies or iron overload. So while we ask for ethnically matched blood from African, Black and Caribbean people is because it needs to be specifically matched. It needs to, African to African needs to match, Caribbean to Caribbean needs to be matched. And if it's not matched, we do not get the best quality of life. I mean, there's a universal blood that we are able to use, but the universal blood doesn't sustain us. Just like your car wouldn't start properly without diesel, me having the universal blood, it will keep me going, but not keep me going for long enough, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, there is an ongoing argument about blood donation in the UK, well, within the African Caribbean community.
Yeah.
The argument is, why do the blood centers refuse to accept donation from people who have returned from or traveled to Africa or other parts of the world within 6 months?
So there are going to be restrictions when it comes to blood donations, and when you travel outside of the UK, there are restrictions that everyone has to follow, and especially with COVID going on. But when it comes to traveling to like Africa countries or malarial countries, your blood needs to be tested. It needs to be tested before you are able to give blood to anybody. And this is also to check that your blood is healthy. It doesn't have any antibodies. It doesn't have anything that could, harm, the next person. We just need to make sure that your blood is healthy. They usually say 3 months just to be on the safe side also as well. And there's a lot of information at giveblood.co.uk that gives you a list of your travel destinations, where you're traveling to, if you're able to donate, if you travel to those countries also as well. So, there's a lot of information on the website, but when it comes to, going to the malarial countries, we need to remember there's so much other conditions that are going on in Africa right now. So testing is vital. Testing is key, and the blood needs to be tested before. And not only that, we need to make sure you're healthy also as well, to give blood and for it to be replenished, for you to have that replenished blood also as well. So I think it's having those questions, but also looking up the country you're traveling to. If you are a blood donor and you really do want to give blood, but your work, for instance, doesn't allow you to give blood because you're traveling all the time, it's really best to find out the information of where you're going to, and find out any restrictions and how long it may take you to donate. Because if you know that you're going to a malarial country and you won't be able to donate for the next 3 months, I would suggest trying to donate before you go, but finding out those, find out the key information to, if you can donate before and after you go to a malarial country. Those are key things. but you have to understand, I think people need to understand, blood needs to be tested. Everything needs to be tested before we take blood and before we give it.
Okay. So is there no other way to walk around this requirement? Many people would love to donate, but because of this restriction, surely there must be a way to ensure people can still donate.
There's a lot of, you know, plans in place for people to donate. It's still safe to donate. And with COVID, with COVID, I mean, there's a triage system in place. If you're eligible, you're healthy, you're well, you're the age between 17 and 65, and you have no long-term health conditions, you're not taking any antibiotics, and you're eligible, we say go out to donate. I think it's, you know, the information is there and it's accessible also as well. And, you know, with the triage system in place also, they, you know, you get a phone call before you donate. You know, when you get to your appointment time, when you get to the donation center, they also triage you and ask you questions. There's, you know, it's a safe, clean environment. They also do your temperature testing also as well. And of course, they need to, you know, stick to the rules and the guidelines with social distancing. But at the same time, there's also centres that are opened now where the government has deemed blood donation essential travel. So if you're able to go and travel to donate, essential travelling, you know, is there for you to follow if you want to help somebody. And I think one thing that I like to offer as an ambassador, if anyone wants to donate and they want to have, you know, they want to feel comfortable, it's their first time donating, or if it's, you know, whatever number donation it is, I'm happy along. I'm happy to come along and speak to that person and give them leaflets and information about blood donation, because I'm always, you know, walking with all my leaflets, you know, sickle cell and donation, hemoglobin and iron, and just, you know, just to help people prepare also, and also to have the donor carers explain to you the process. I think one thing ACLT taught me, Bevan Oren taught me, was when you're inviting your friends and your family to donate, understand that one, your family are, you know, apprehensive because of the system, because of the myths and everything attached to blood donation. So you need to make it comfortable for them as possible. And on the other hand, there's donor carers that are well experienced in the job that they are doing. However, they may not be well versed or educated enough when it comes to blood donation within sickle cell patients, or why there's a lack of Black people within the community. And it was suggested that we have a conversation with the donor carer team. You have a conversation or a meeting with them, and you explain to them your experience of having sickle cell, why you need the exchanges that you need, and why it means so much to you that the people who are coming to donate, it's important that they feel comfortable. They understand the process, and they leave there feeling, you know, really proud of themselves, and, you know, making sure they were kept in good hands also as well. So these are the conversations that we need to have with the donor carers and, you know, the donors as well. But, you know, like I said, it's whoever's going to donate, any questions or anything that you feel like you need to ask them. If they're not on the website, literally DM or email or contact myself, because making sure everyone goes who sits in that seat is really important to me. It's important to me to hear their experience. It's important to me that they're comfortable, because it's also important to me that they also come back. You know, it's about leaving that lasting impression and having, you know, all of those outlets, you know, accessible to you as well. So I'm one person that I would go to a blood donating centre and follow someone and ask any questions, and have the staff ask questions also as well.
Exactly. So there are centres around the UK, aren't there?
Sorry.
Did you hear what I said? I said there are
Oh no.
centres around the UK, aren't there?
Yeah, there are many centres around the UK. There are so many centres that are opened right now that are actually dedicating slots and appointments, especially to people of colour, especially to the Black community. So I urge people,
Yeah.
if you are wanting to be to register and to donate, I'm urging people to contact me
Yes.
directly, where I can help them to register. I can also book them an appointment that's convenient for them also as well. And, you know,
Okay.
we can talk about the donation process as well. So there's many centres open, and that's what, you know, that's why I love what I do, because I want it to be a personal touch. There's some people that say, I've tried to donate, but my appointment isn't till next year. You know, and these are the things that we're trying to work with, you know, on the clinical side and within the team, to see what's going on, to see, you know, if we can get them booked in a lot more quicker. So with the designated centres, that's where I'm working on, to, you know, to encourage people and to get people through those doors, especially before Christmas and during this time as well. A lot of sickle cell patients currently are in hospital right now that need treatment, that need regular exchanges. I saw a post last week going around on Twitter where a sickle cell patient wasn't able to have her transfusion because there was lack of blood. There was no blood donations. There was no ethnically matched blood for her to have her exchange. And that scares me. That worries me. You know, so this is why I'm not going to stop until we get the 40,000 people that we need within the next, you know, 2 years.
Yeah, well, because I, as a transplant patient, I needed blood when I had my transplant, and even afterwards, when I came out, I still needed blood. So it's really important for people to come forward and be blood donors, not just organ donors, but blood donors as well. If you're watching right now, you can see the address, or the website address of where you can find your nearest center. It's also in the chat box. So if you want to donate, if you want to be a donor, a blood donor, just go to the website www.blood.co.uk, or just, you know, go onto this website that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. You can see it. Just use that and find out where your nearest center is, or contact Chanel. We'll be putting her address out in a bit, so that, you know, you can reach her if you need to speak to her directly. Or otherwise, you can actually call that number 0300 123 2323. Okay, so before we go on, because we have a lot to cover today, Chanel, I'm just going to play this video so that you can understand how it is for people. I think this is a video of Chanel herself. Let me just share screen.
I'll never get to know. I've seen through him. After you, I was in hospital for like 2 weeks or 4 weeks, because I was in hospital for 2 months. 2 months. I like what all of you done. You support lots of kids who have sickle cell. I really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting me in these high challenges, rough days. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. Cry.
Oh.
And thank you for helping me in my tough challenge, Mum.
Oh, that is just so. So you can see how important it is for you to be a blood donor. That is a child who has just been through a lot, and I'm very emotional right now. I'm so sorry, guys. I just feel that we need to do more. We can't leave it to the next person to do. As you heard earlier on, Chanel has told us the different blood types that we could be to provide that special blood to people to help them survive. Chanel would probably tell you how many times she has to go and get her transfusion, and that is out of the generosity of people like you and me. I would donate if I could, but I have just found that there's a whole website of stuff, of things, related diseases or conditions you could have that that would stop you from donating. And you need to go onto that website. I will post the link in a bit, so that you can go onto that website and just look through. The restrictions are not restricted to the UK. Other countries do the same. As I found out today, even the States even America have actually stopped. They are refusing. It is permanent, indefinitely. If you've lived in England for a certain period, they would not accept a blood donation from you. So it's not only the UK. There are conditions you would have, or there are areas you would travel to that they would not accept. It's a list of countries. You type in whatever country you travel to, they will tell you whether you are eligible to donate or not. That will be going in very soon. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen. I want you to go to that link and check it out, and see what it is exactly that they want from you. Do not think that they're just doing it because they hate you. But as a parent, or you as a sick person, would you like them to give you blood that has not been tested, to make sure there's nothing extra that is going to cause you to fall even sicker or make you even sicker? Why would you want something like that? So before you jump to those conclusions, it is good to speak to people. That number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. Look at it, copy it down, call them. Don't just take my word or Chanel's word for it. Do your due diligence and find out what you can do and how you can contribute to save people in our own community. They're our brothers, they're our sisters, our children. It could even be you. I didn't think about donation until it was my turn. And I realized how important it is. And that is why, as an organ recipient, I have signed up to be an organ donor. If I could be a blood donor, I would do it. Yes, I hate needles, but just for the fact that I'm saving somebody else, as somebody has saved me, I would go and sign up. So moving on, Chanel. Next question. So someone's asked, can I donate if I have a cold, feel ill, have a chesty cough, or a cold sore? What would you say to that?
I would say because of COVID, we always say, wait at least 14 to 28 days, check in with your GP and, make sure that, the cold and the cold sore is managed well. Once that is all cleared up, you are eligible to go and donate. So don't let a cold or a flu stop you from donating. Of course, COVID in place, we just say double check. We won't take anyone with a cold or a flu. Me, myself, I've got a cold and a flu, so I'm even at home. So I've not even been into the office or anything, just to, make sure that I'm just okay. So a cold and a flu will not stop you, I guarantee you. But once your cold and flu has cleared up, you are eligible and healthy to donate.
Okay. And can somebody donate if they're pregnant or have recently been pregnant?
No. So if you're pregnant, you are not able to donate, obviously, because we want to make sure that you're healthy and well. And, everyone needs, healthy blood, especially whilst giving birth also. So you need all the blood that you need. Now, if you've given birth, not needed a blood transfusion or anything during birth, and you're healthy, they always say wait at least 6 months, 6 to 12 months before you're able to donate also as well. But all of this information is also on giveblood.co.uk, but no donating while you're pregnant.
Okay, great. And can somebody donate if they have a tattoo or piercings?
So piercings and tattoos, they also say wait 3 months. So it doesn't stop you from donating. So let's just say, what month are we in? October. Just say I had a tattoo or a piercing in the month of October. I wouldn't be able to donate until at least January, February. So I would say the rules are, I believe it is 3 months because I have it here. No, it's 4 months, sorry. So if you've had this done recently, they say wait at least 4 months, 4 months. Okay. But again, it doesn't stop you from donating. And again, if you're thinking or considering to become a blood donor, but then you have these things in place, these appointments, tattoos, holidays and piercings in place, try and think about donating before you have them, so that it doesn't stop you or take you longer to donate also as well.
Okay. So before we continue with our questions, because this is just going to be a question and answer session, because I know a lot of people have questions to ask, instead of us droning on about, different things and throwing information at people, I think it's really important that people come forward and speak their minds, say what they have, ask questions they have, rather than we telling them. And then, they have questions they don't have the time to ask. So before we continue, I would like to give us a little break. I'm going to play this video so that to talk more about this myth that people, probably the video can answer questions for people right now, because it is really, really important for them to understand why decisions like that are made.
You don't need my blood.
This is not true. We need more people of Black heritage to donate blood to ensure sickle cell patients get the best possible.
All blood's the same, isn't it?
No, it isn't. Even though all our blood is red, there is a difference within the makeup. So for those who suffer with sickle cell, it is much more beneficial for them if the blood comes from their own background.
Organ donation is against my religion. This is a common misconception. Most major religions support organ donation.
I'm scared that because of coronavirus, it's not safe to donate blood.
We've put extra safety procedures in place to keep our donors and staff safe during this pandemic.
I can't give blood without the sickle cell trait.
Actually, you can still get blood when you have sickle cell trait. Let one of our staff know when you arrive.
If I'm on the register and I get in an accident, I may not get the care I need.
Our duty is to save your life. Give despite our best efforts, that is inevitable. Organ donation will then be discussed with your family and next of kin.
I'm Black, so I have to wait longer for a transplant, right? Black patients have to wait nearly a year longer than white patients for transplant, as the best chance of a match is from someone of the same ethnicity, and there is a shortage of Black donors.
Welcome back, and so we continue with the questions. Some questions have just landed in the comments. I'm just going to put this up. Hopefully you can answer it, Chanel. So Michelle Betsy says, I'm on blood pressure tablets, so had to stop being a blood donor, but I have been on organ donor register for the past 15 years or more. So can she still donate? She's on blood pressure tablets.
There's some people that are able to donate on blood if they have high blood pressure, but it also depends on the type of medication that you're on and how long you've been taking them, and as long as there's no antibiotics. So you would have to have, you get measured every 4 weeks, I believe, with blood pressure. So it would need to remain the same. But again, that information is on giveblood.co.uk. I am aware that some people are able to donate as well. And thank you for registering on the organ donation register. That's what we want. We want people to still opt in, guys.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Michelle. Chanel, going on to continue with the questions. Can I have a transfusion or receive blood products or an organ transplant? Can I give blood if I have had a transfusion or receive blood products or an organ transplant?
So if you've received an organ transplant, again, it depends what type of organ transplant you've received. And they say if you've received a blood transfusion before 1980, you are able to donate. If you've received a blood transfusion after 1980, you're not eligible to donate. But again, there's a list of heart conditions and operations that are on giveblood.co.uk that actually let you know if you're able to, if you're eligible to donate, if you've had such a, a serious operation. But again, these are the questions that, we need to ask also as well. So I'm glad that they're being asked, because I guarantee you, I swear to you, all of this information is on the website.
Okay, great. And I think one more question. If somebody is gay, are they able to give blood?
So they don't discriminate against sexuality at, Give Blood. We don't discriminate. What they do say is make sure that you've not had sexual contact within the last 4 months with the same sex person. And again, you disclose that at the time that, you've booked your appointment, let them know. And again, all blood is tested. I think what we need to highlight and reiterate is all blood is important. And it doesn't matter where it comes from, as long as it's matched also as well. And they even say men, they have more iron in their blood because, women, we go through our cycles. So, we have to, let our bodies replenish. So there is a male campaign out there right now urging men, especially from the Black community, to donate. But however, if you are in a same-sex relationship, we don't discriminate at all. As long as you're healthy and you've not been in sexual contact with the same person in the last 4 months, I would say go out and do it, but also find your information. But also it's about being transparent also and disclosing that information.
Okay. Now, some people have actually said that when they go to, when they turn up just at the blood centers to donate blood, because they don't register, they just turn up there. Is it possible to just, do a walk-in and donate blood?
Unfortunately, during COVID, we're not able to accommodate walk-ins. And, it's better to have an appointment time to walk in, because it's depending on the team also, and it also depends on the area and the team that you're in, because there's some teams may give you that flexibility, but I always say just to be on the safe side, always book your appointment. If you want to book it with me personally, honestly, I will help you get your nearest available closest donation with the information that I have to the location centers. But again, it depends with teams. But I would say no, because of COVID also, and because of social distancing and the government guidelines, we're quite strict, and we also need to follow it also as well.
Yeah. So what is your website or the details that they can use to get in touch with you? Not your mobile though, because because it's the internet, you have strange people calling you, because this is actually public, so anybody could get hold of your number. Just your website or email or something if people want to ask you more questions, or probably ask for your help in getting their head around this.
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all socials called at Unsickle My Cells UK, or you can email me at chanel.taylor@nhsbt.nhs.uk, or you can email me at unsiclemycells@unsiclemycells@gmail.com. I hope I got that right. So that's unsiclemycells@gmail.com and chanel.taylor@nhsbt.nhs.uk, and all socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is Unsickle My Cells.
Okay. So now I think the next question is can someone give blood if they've been traveling outside the UK?
Oh, it depends where in the UK. So is it a bit more
No,
specific outside?
outside the UK. Outside the UK.
Yeah, outside the UK, again, it depends on the travel destinations as well. So there's some places you're able to, you can go to Amsterdam, Germany, and come back and you're able to donate. But somewhere further out, then no, you're not able to donate. But again, it's also going on to giveblood.co.uk because there are a list of travel destinations. And with COVID in place, the guidance and the rules are always changing. So we're always saying, please just check if your country, or if you've gone outside the UK, if you've come into contact with these areas outside the UK and you want to donate, again, check before you're eligible to donate.
Okay. So how do I just want to talk about the conditions, the sickle cell. So how do people get that? Can you go a little bit into that? And if people have that trait, can they still? I know they said on the video, what is the reasoning behind it that they say if you still have that sickle cell trait, can you still donate?
So if you have sickle cell trait, remember the trait, it's just the trait, meaning that you can pass on the sickle gene to, your child if you decide to have children. So the sickle cell trait doesn't stop you from donating at all. And I think this is one of the key informations that we need to, highlight and to amplify also as well. It's because you have the sickle cell trait, you are still eligible to donate. Now, when it comes to sickle cell itself, the disease and the condition, our red cells are shaped like a C shape, like a crescent shape. Your blood cells, normal blood cells, like yourself or the other that people that don't have sickle cell, is shaped like a zero shaped, right? Now, imagine our sickle cells flowing through the blood vessels. Once it flows through the blood vessels, they get stuck because it's a C shape. Once the blood vessels get stuck, what happens is oxygen is limited. Oxygen is limited, so it stops flowing around the body. So your red blood cells last 120 days, whereas my red blood cells, they last up to 20 days. Now, them lasting 20 days and my red blood cells getting trapped in my vessels, meaning there's not oxygen circulating to those key organs that I need, whether it's my eyes, whether it's, my heart, my liver, my lungs, my kidney, my joints. Where there is restricted oxygen causes a crisis. A crisis are painful episodes of pain that can strike anywhere where oxygen is restricted, meaning so right now, as I'm speaking to you, I can't see out of my left eye. I have sickle cell retinopathy. One day I woke up this year, I couldn't see. My eye is out of focus. What's happening is there's lack of oxygen going on at the back of my eye. So the oxygen is not flowing, causing floaters. So the floaters is the blood just floating through my left eye. And that's because there's lack of oxygen. So because of the lack of oxygen, sickle cell patients, we're recommended to drink at least, double the amount of water. So at least, 8 glasses of water a day, to make sure that, we are hydrated. So with the crisis, a crisis can happen in your joints. It can happen in your eye. It can happen in your stomach, anywhere. Sickle cell causes long-term complications and chronic pain. Chronic pain, a crisis can last anything from 2 weeks up to 6 months. You can feel pain for so long, for that long. And that's when it comes to the treatment, when it comes to blood donations, is only part of the treatment that actually helps with sickle cell patients. So having sickle cell and the complications that it comes with, it's deliberating, it's painful. There's complications such as pulmonary hypertension, which is high blood
Yeah.
pressure in the lungs. I have that, meaning I can't walk too fast, or if I walk too fast, you know, I get asthma attacks, or my breathing is really excessive. I can't walk up too many flights of stairs. There's also jaundice. Jaundice is a key thing with sickle cell patients. Jaundice is when your eyes are really yellow, and it's the buildup of the bilirubin in your eyes, which causes it to be yellow. But it also alerts me and lets me know that I'm having a crisis, or I'm dehydrated, or I need to get, you know, my usual MOT done at the hospital. So with sickle cell, there's so many different complications that we go through, that it's an invisible disease. It's invisible, that when you look at me on the outside, you will never ever think that there's anything going on with me. But really and truly, there's a lot going on with my body. You know, I'm a mother who's 36 and a single parent, and having a child and having, you know, an invisible condition can be so deliberating, to the point where it does take its toll onto your mental health as well. So I guess I'm in a position now where you have to be vocal about being a warrior. You have to be vocal about your treatment. You know, I wasn't in a position 6 years ago where I knew, you know, it's only 6 years ago I can say that I've finally came to terms and confronted, you know, the challenges that I did have with sickle cell. Growing up with sickle cell, it was embarrassing to me. I wanted to be a normal child and a normal teenager hanging out with my friends, but I couldn't because of the complications that I endured with it. But now facing it and tackling it head on, this is why campaigning and blood donations is so important for me. I didn't have that information to hand when it came to blood donations. My parents didn't really know about, you know, blood donations and sickle cell. This was in the 1980s. They were learning, and they still are learning when it comes to, you know, sickle cell and blood donations. And, you know, it's important for me to have this platform campaign, but also try and teach my family that blood donation is really important, because my grandma and my mum, they don't necessarily understand what I go through with sickle cell. And if I have a crisis, or I'm in pain, or I'm in hospital, you know, the conversation is, oh, have you taken your medication? And I'm like, it's not about me taking my medication. It's about the impact that's led up to me having, you know, a crisis, or me being in pain. And also because I've been on the exchange transfusion program for coming up to a year now, although they know they see me having these exchanges, I still don't think they understand the importance and the severity of the transfusions. I don't, you know, it's important for me to let them understand that if I don't get 7 people that look like me and you, I'm not going to get my blood. I'm not going to be able to be as active as I was, because honestly, I feel like Popeye. When I first had my exchange, I felt like Popeye. You know, Oliver get with the spinach. I felt like I could do a cartwheel. And it's not, and when I said that, you know, the apheresis team, bless them, they were like, Chanel, please just go home and rest. But I felt the spring in my step, and I just wish I knew about it years ago. I wish I was campaigning years ago, but at the same time, I also wish that this information was there to hand to my parents, so my parents could teach me years ago, so that I'm in a better position to, you know, look after myself and speak up about my care and be vocal about it. Because just because sickle cell does predominantly affect African Caribbean people, you can't always rely on the healthcare professionals to know about your care. It's about what your body can take, what your body can handle. It's also about listening to your body as well. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be on exchanges now. And, you know, that's something that a lot of, not just sickle cell patients, but a lot of people within the community go through, who do have long-term health conditions that don't necessarily have the support, or don't necessarily have the voice to be vocal. But I have had to do that. I don't have no other option but to do so.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. I have had tears in my eyes. I have laughed, and it's just so amazing to hear you talk. Talk about your journey, talk about your challenges, and I don't think a lot of people understand, what it means to have sickle cell, what it means to wait on the generosity of people to become blood donors to keep you alive. And I'm just hoping that as you are watching right now, you're making that decision to be an organ donor. Sorry, not a blood donor, and an organ donor as well. Because it is the only way forward for us as African Caribbeans to have people like you out there, healthy people like you, to step forward and say, I want to give blood. I know a lot of people are scared about organ donation, but you can give blood. It's as simple as that. You go in and you sign up, or you book your appointment, or you contact Chanel, and she can tell you, the process. So, moving on from that, Chanel, who can give blood? How old does somebody have to be? Do you have to be a certain age? Is there a certain weight you have to be to give blood? And what do you do before you go and give blood? What can you do to ensure that you are looking after your own health?
Yeah. So they say there is age restriction, well, not an age restriction, but conditions. So you have to be aged between
Yes.
17 and 65 to donate, and making sure that you're eligible and healthy. And you have to be over 50 kg. So if you're over 50 kg, you are able to donate, but if you're underweight, you're not able to donate also as well. And as long as you're with, and there are restrictions, there are little restrictions that tells you on this leaflet that I have, but I will send it to you. But as long as you're healthy, you're between at the age 17 and 65, you're over 50 kg, you are eligible to donate. And and if you are over 70 and have given a full blood donation in the last 2 years also as well, you're able to donate. In terms of preparing for a blood donation, we all know that most of the Black community, we are anemic, and sometimes we get the excuses, or I wouldn't say excuse, but a lot of people are under the impression that because they're anemic, they can't donate. Now, if you can't donate because you're anemic, that's a known fact within the African Caribbean community. However, there are many ways and many diets and things to do to make sure that you are able to donate, making sure that you've had your hemoglobin check, an iron check. And even if you are on supplements or iron tablets, also check with your doctor what your iron level is before you're allowed to donate, and see and get a doctor's note to say that your iron is has gone up, your iron count has gone up, and you want to donate. Am I able to donate? And get that note when you come and book your appointment. There's things like broccoli, greens also as well. So many different iron foods and ITAL foods that you're able to eat before you come to your donation also as well. Vitamin B minerals also as well. Super malt is good. And don't forget, when you do donate, after your donation, you get a chocolate, you get biscuits, you get little snacks, and I feel like that's really good. When it's something to look forward to after your donation, But the main thing is, making sure that your hemoglobin, your iron, your diet is really, really good as well. Like I said, there's this leaflet that says hemoglobin and iron information. So, that's something I can also, send to you later as well. But there's so much information out there and how you can prepare for your donation also as well. Making sure that you're drinking, make sure you drink enough and you eat, you have a full, meal before you come. And when you donate, they're only taking 1 pint of blood. 1 pint of blood is all that it takes. And your donation can take anything from 6 minutes up to 15 minutes. And once your donation is done, that's it. you're free to go. So from beginning to end, from when you walk in the door, from when you have your DHC, which is your donor healthcare check, and you go through your forms, to having your iron and HB finger prick test, to getting into the chair, it's an hour process. And after you finish your donation, your blood is replenished the next day within 24 hours. So whatever you've lost or whatever you've given, shall I say, so to speak, you do get that back, and it's replenished, while you're sleeping. Hence why we say, make sure you're eating healthy and, being prepared before your donation.
I see. Okay. So, talking about donation, can you talk people through the donation process? Because I think, again, there might be some kind of uncertainty about the process. So can you just talk them through when they arrive at the center, what happens and what do they have to do? Or, because sometimes demystifying that process for people actually does help, because I think it's that fear that makes them, cringe from actually thinking about donation.
Yeah, sure. Again, I like to be hands-on, and for me to explain this process, I've had to be there myself. I've had to go there with my family members also, to reassure them, family and friends also as well. So when you've booked your appointment online, or if you've done it over the phone, again, you'll be triaged. To, again, in line with COVID guidelines. And once you get to your donation location, it's either you're waiting outside, depending on the setup as well, because each donation center is different. So their setup is different. Yeah. So once you arrive, again, you'll be asked to get your temperature taken, hand sanitize, and you'll be booked in. You'll be booked in and seated at the waiting area. While you're seated at the waiting area, you'll go over your donor healthcare questions, which are the same questions that they really ask over the phone, but a bit more in depth also as well, if you've traveled and things like that. And once that DHC information has been filled out, you'll then be called into the room by the nurse, who will then take your HB and iron level test. And I think that's the part that I get excited, because sometimes that determines whether your iron is low or high. When you have that test, it's either, if it's high, if it's okay, you're going through to the next round. If it's not, they do tell you to come back, and you won't be able to donate at that time, but to go back and test your iron, come back maybe in 6 months' time, depending on what the situation is. But usually, if your hemoglobin and iron is great, you go through to, the next stage. And the next stage is you getting seated into your donating chair, and you literally kicking back, having the procedure done, and seeing how long your blood is taken. So some people bleed fast, some people take long to bleed. I remember my cousin, he took 6 minutes and 29 seconds to donate blood. I have friends that go and donate, and they literally have competitions between themselves to see who bleeds the fastest. Weird, but it's, it's funny how, that they can make a good thing, so humorous also as well. So once your donation is taken, you're then taken off the chair, then you're taken to another area where you are offered snacks. You're offered snacks, and just to make sure that you're okay, you're asked to sit down. You're given, the club biscuits, some popcorn or some tea or coffee or something. You're offered something warm, not warm, sorry, cool, and that's it. And that's what happens. And the good thing about that is, when you've donated, you get a text message. You get a text message from the hospital or from the donation center to say where your blood has gone. And I think that's what excites me more, because a few of my friends have donated, and they've sent me DMs and screenshots and said, look, I'm so excited. I got my, this is where my blood went. It went to this hospital. So you won't know if it's what patient has gone to, but at least they're giving you an idea and a traveling journey of how your blood has traveled and where it's traveled to. So I think, these are the things that we need to trust that, is going on. And we need to trust that when you are donating for a good cause, but you are getting feedback of where your blood is actually traveling to and who it's helped. Yeah.
Oh, that is amazing. That is really amazing. Because I was just thinking, how would people know? Because again, that would be another concern for people thinking, so how would I know who is getting my blood? Because we get that with organ donation. Well, I don't know who my organs are going to. So with blood will be the same thing. Thank you for answering that question. And I think the next one would be about, when people give blood, I'm sure, just like in organ donation, we say, if you donate an organ, you can save up to 9 lives. Okay. So how many people are saved by blood? I know I was saved because how many times? More than 3 times, because I needed blood in all my crises. So how many people can be saved by one person giving blood?
So sorry. It's one pint can save up to 3 lives, 3 children.
Oh,
1 pint can save 3 children. So yeah, just to put it like that, But then for someone like me that needs regular exchanges, I need 7 people every 5 weeks. I've not done the maths yet for how many units I've had this year, but 7 people I would need in terms to get my blood. So think of how many people donate, but then think of the lives that they're saving if that blood is gone to a child. Right? A pint and an hour to save someone's life. It's a no-brainer for me.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And, I think that, we should try as much as possible to think about other people. It's not always about us. It's about other people out of the goodness of your heart. You're not doing it because you want things or you want recognition. Just think about people who are there and are waiting, are hoping that they won't die when they go into that theater for an operation because there's blood to help them. There are people like Chanel who are waiting, who are going ever so often to get those blood transfusion. So we can do our own bit. I can't do anything because of my condition as an organ transplant patient. But what I can do is what I'm doing now, encouraging, inspiring, motivating people to step forward and be an organ donor and a blood donor. If you can't be any of those, then do something else. Go out and campaign. Contact Chanel. She will tell you. Thank goodness for, I know coronavirus is bad, but it actually brought along a good thing because you can do what I'm doing right now. You can go online and encourage other people. WhatsApp, send messages, send them the link, say, come on, let's go and, give blood. Let's do this for it's our community. Because you never know who you're helping. It might not be immediate. You could be giving to somebody else because they need that blood now. And then a few years down the line, somebody from your circle, from your loved ones, your family, your friends needs blood. And it's that person who will be saving that person. Karma does exist. So whatever good you do, you're doing it to yourself. Just look at it that way. You're doing it to yourself, and you're not only doing it to yourself, you're doing it to others. Okay. And I just believe that, we've had so much information today from Chanel, and we just want to thank you, Chanel, for coming out. We are at the end of the program. We've run over a bit, but, I'm just so glad I could talk forever about blood donation, and it is so amazing that I was able to get Chanel to come on. She does work with the NHSBT as well. Chanel, did you talk about that? Did you? Come on, introduce yourself. Tell them what you do with NHSBT. Don't be modest.
Right now, there's actually a campaign. I've actually partnered up with NHSBT where there's a campaign going on right now. So the video that you saw with Cameron and his mum, the mother and the child, that's a campaign that's going on right now called Dear Sickle Cell. That Dear Sickle Cell project, we rolled that out, and it's participants of patients and their mothers, their keepers and advocates to address sickle cell as if it was a person, because we all know what, suffering from sickle cell can be deliberating. It can be lonely. It can be such a dark place to experience that you have no one to actually turn to. So I got all of these people together to address sickle cell as if it was a person, but in their true rawest form. And I'm so glad they gave me and they trusted me to, with their vulnerability in addressing this also as well. The key messaging behind the Dear Sickle Cell campaign is to encourage more Black people from the community to donate blood. With the current climate as it is, if Black Lives Matter, sickle cell lives matter, people within the Black community matter. And I just want to reinforce that there's so many people out there that we just need to donate. And that's what I've been doing with this campaign. So recently we found out that targets, because of the campaign, 10% of registrations have risen. So I just want people to understand my role within the organization is to reach to communities like yourselves and like Hilaria as well, because you reached out to me and I'm so grateful to you, but we can't do it alone. So I just wanted to say thank you also as well. But the campaign is out there. It's to encourage Black people from our community, and that's where I'm most at home, is encouraging people to donate also as well. So I just hope that I can, reach you guys. I hope that I can inform you as best as I can. And if I don't, I'll always signpost you to where you can get more in-depth information as well.
Well, there's a couple of comments in the chat. I'm going to put that up. This one is from Charles Kweku Odoi. Says, I like the whole bleeds fastest friendly competition, between the people you mentioned earlier on.
Yes.
And this is also Olive. This session was so informative. Thank you, Chanel. And also next one from Michelle Betsy. Yes, this was very informative and I've learned so much. We'll spread the word. Ooh, even if we've had only one person to spread the word. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Michelle, for that. And before we go, I just want to play one more video. And I think this is really, I think this would round up the whole thing perfectly. Let's see if I can get it up. Oh, Chrome tab. Let's see. Yep.
Oh, yes. She was part of the campaign as well.
Yeah.
You strike unexpectedly. Suddenly we're at your mercy, only for you to disappear again, leaving us to pick up the pieces, constantly looking over our shoulders. We tiptoe around you, avoiding your triggers, trying not to push your buttons, but another attack is imminent. Despite the pain you rain down on my daughter, despite the uncertainty, you've taught me patience, understanding, positivity, and to live in the moment. Dear Sickle Cell, today at least is a good day.
Oh, wow, that is just so amazing. I wanted to end the broadcast but that should touch people's hearts. And if that doesn't touch you, I don't know what else can. To find out how to be a blood donor, please go to www.blood.co.uk or call 0300 123 2323 or contact Chanel at on Sickle Myself on Facebook and across all her social media platforms. Please don't think that, you leave it to the next person. This is just, that last video was just so heartbreaking to find a mother having to go through all that and even saying, this is a good day.
Yeah.
If that doesn't touch you, I don't know what else would. Thank you so much, Chanel, for coming out. I really appreciate you doing this and giving your time up today, Saturday, when everybody's, looking for something to do and, relaxing and stuff like that. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate you coming out. And to everybody who signed on, thank you so much. And, well, there's one more comment. Let me just put that up.
Just want to say
Thank you, Chanel. May God give you the strength to always be an inspiration to others. Oh my goodness, that is just amazing. Can you imagine that? Everybody's thinking.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's just amazing, So thank you so much. And everybody who's been out today, taking your time to attend this webinar. I hope you've taken something away from this. Wherever you are in the world, I know people signed on from across the world. Wherever you are in the world, it doesn't have to be the UK. Go to your nearest blood center and please donate. It's £1. They would not take anything more than that from you. Donate. Africa, North America, South America, the UK, please, nearest blood center, go and sign up to donate. Thank you all for coming out, and thank you, Chanel. I really appreciate you. Thank you. I will see you next week, everybody. Next week, it's going to be about diabetes, and an expert, our presenter will be from Diabetes UK. So please come on the platform. All the information will go out during the week, and we hope to see you there. Thank you for coming on this journey with I and Chanel. We appreciate you. Thank you.